Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews each and every week, and we stop for a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars, and we've spun it off. We're all the way up to number 79. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning, I put a post out with Zach and I holding coffees. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted, and we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
The best channel on YouTube. Thank you. Do you believe the redesigned Tundra is a good upgrade from an F-150?
Well, it's interesting. You know, I've said this many times, Andrea. It's Toyota following the leader, and the leader is Ford. They sell, F-Series is a big seller, and they came out with a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 in the EcoBoost and a 10-speed automatic transmission. Well, what did Toyota do? They basically did the same thing. Then they go, wait a second, hold my coffee. We're going to put a hybrid system in there. And what did Toyota do?
Same. Hybrid system.
But the results with the Tundra have not been 100% positive.
No, neither of them get a great reliability score from Consumer Reports, better from JD Power, but the Tundra does have a better resale value score than Ford. The F-150 can tow more than the Tundra. I think the interior is much nicer. Frankly, I prefer the F-150. I just like it more than the Tundra. The Tundra didn't wow me.
I'd get a Silverado or Sierra diesel. That's what I'd get with a 3-liter Duramax. If I'm getting a truck and I want to do trucky stuff, that's the engine I'd want.
I'm a big fan of the F-150. Driving BMW sedans inline 6 for 15 years. Need to switch to an SUV to fit 2 car seats. Thinking about switching to mainstream Japanese, Korean brands to save on maintenance costs. Test drove with my wife. I cannot get over the fact how noisy the engines are, how low quality the interiors are, how cheap, shiny looking the leather is. Are we being snobby, or the difference in quality between the BMW and Japanese cars for a used vehicle, used BMW is not that much. We drive 15,000 per year, 20 stop signs every day. You know the drill.
Yeah, well, and the inline 6 likes the gas. What I would suggest is that the older, it's a 15-year-old 3 or 5 series maybe, I think had a nicer interior than the current one. So all that shiny hard leather stuff, have you peek inside the new 3 and 5 series. It's not that great either.
Yeah, I mean, what we find is that more shiny black plastic is being used. You even see that with Porsche. However, I would agree with you with sound insulation. When you get into a premium brand, they are quieter. You know, when you close the door, it feels solid. But you're paying more for that, of course. So the question is, do you buy a used BMW, Audi, or do you go for a brand new vehicle? That is just a personal choice, I think.
Okay, you can also just get the mainline car with a better stereo.
True.
Turn up the radio. That's always an option.
We say that sometimes. Just turn up the radio.
So maybe you want to kind of split the difference and not go back to luxury, but look at a premium car, like maybe an MDX or an RDX, which is a bit noisy. But if you want quiet, if you want smooth, and you want actually pretty nice interior, a Buick is not a bad way to go.
Yeah. Or if you like quiet, how about a hybrid? Difficult to get, but the non-luxury brands, their hybrids, especially Kia and Hyundai, they are quiet. Hi, Andrea and Zach from Pittsburgh.
Nice.
Love your channel. Thank you. You two helped us last year in choosing the Sportage Hybrid. Thanks. That's a favorite. We're looking at replacing our old second car with a compact sedan, and we're looking initially at the Elantra Hybrid and the Corolla Hybrid. My question is, with how efficient regular ICE cars are getting, would there be better options among them? We value reliability and drivability.
Well, I was just going to say one. I'm going to throw one out there.
Yeah.
For highway fuel economy. So if you're doing a lot of interstate driving, if you're doing a lot of highway driving, the Jetta gets fuel economy that rivals hybrid cars.
For sure.
Yeah, amazing highway fuel economy.
And there's other ones, even the Sentra does well. There are a lot of gas models that deliver excellent fuel economy. Now, when it comes to hybrids, they actually do better in the city. So if you're doing a lot of city driving and stop and go traffic, well, I think that you'll find the Corolla and the Elantra hybrid to be quite fuel efficient. Corolla more so because it has an eCVT.
I was very surprised by how much I like the Elantra hybrid. It's got independent suspension over the gas one, which does not. And it's a bigger car. So if you're doing a lot of highway driving, then try a Jetta out. It's going to have, pretty good handling.
Yeah.
It's a roomy car. It's simply laid out. It's not a bad whip.
Hi guys, really enjoy your reviews and features along with your interactions on camera, which are fun. Thank you. I'm impressed with some Genesis vehicles, but with the reputation some Hyundai products have gained from mechanical quality problems, I'm concerned about spending so much on a Genesis. Well, it's interesting. Genesis and Hyundai in particular have introduced a lot of new models. And in the recent JD Power Dependability Study for 2024, they have dropped below average. Now, Kia has also added new vehicles, but they are above average. So definitely Hyundai and Genesis have some things to work out, but that is typical when you introduce new vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, Genesis for their mainline SUVs, for example, the GV70 and the GV80 has only been around 4 years since they've been out. So yeah, it's the biggest cost of owning a vehicle is depreciation. So if you have a brand that is viewed as maybe not being, it might not be true, because we see this with a lot of brands where just the myth of the brand just keeps getting perpetuated, and they have poor resale values because of that. If there's a perception that a brand isn't as reliable, and you eat that when you go to trade it in, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately you do, like we just talked about with F-150 and Tundra. Because it's a Toyota, the resale value is there. Keep up the great content. I'm considering buying a 2024 Kia Seltos front-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive is just $2,000 more. However, I personally think all-wheel drive is overrated. I'm a local British Columbian, and everyone here suggests an all-wheel drive has more resale value. But if you are spending $2,000 more to buy the all-wheel drive, does the resale value have drastic differences of more than $2,000 versus a front-wheel drive?
Well, that's a good question. And I would say, yes, it will. Because if you're looking at a new vehicle and everybody's saying, I gotta have all-wheel drive, you should have all-wheel drive, just spend the $2,000 more for all-wheel drive, that is going to get replicated in the used market.
For sure.
And in the used market, you're going to have all of these different Seltos to look at, and people will just unfortunately gravitate. I mean, I agree with you, but they will unfortunately gravitate towards the all-wheel drive. This is basically piggybacking on the last question. It's all about perception. The perception of some brands is that they don't make reliable cars, therefore they get pounded in resale value. And the perception is you need to have all-wheel drive in 2024, which is nonsense. I mean, you live in the same city as us. I'm guessing you didn't say Vancouver, but you could easily get by with front-wheel drive.
We have 2 front-wheel drive models. We put a good set of winter tires on them, and they are just fine in the winter. Now, we live in British Columbia. We don't get a lot of snow, so the snow that we get, well, where we live in Vancouver, the snow that we get is fine. But I do believe, speaking to viewers all the time, all-wheel drive is what they want. I can't tell you how many times with the Maverick hybrid, it's only a front-wheel drive option. They want all-wheel drive. So you will...
To pay a penalty.
Yeah, your resale value will reflect that, and it could be more than $2,000. So if you're concerned about resale value, then I would get with the all-wheel drive model.
But still, with all-wheel drive, buy a good set of winter tires.
Yeah. Where did Zach take you on your first date? Do you want to start first?
Well, I can remember the car, Andrea. It was a big S-Class Mercedes.
I do remember
It wasn't my car, it was a press car. And it was that champagne gold.
Yeah.
I think it was an S4 430.
It was big.
S420, S430. I can't remember. It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how long ago, but it was a few years, more than 6 months. And I wheeled up to Andrea's house in the big Merc, and Andrea jumped in, and we went for dinner at an Italian restaurant.
We did.
If you live in Vancouver, on Commercial Drive.
Yeah, we did. And the food was delicious. I remember
The
Zach
chat was
ordering.
good.
The chat, of course, the chat was good. And then after we ate, had a few drinks, I said to Zach, let's go to a club.
Oh, yeah.
And he says,
Oh, I
love
love
clubs.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
I said, do you like to dance?
Love to
I
dance.
love to dance. He loves to dance. I'm like, wow, this is really great. This is going really well. So we go to the club, we're dancing. He's all for it. Anyway, we go home.
Have we ever gone dancing since, Andrea?
No.
No.
Even when we go to a wedding, I say, come on, let's dance. He might dance a slow dance with me.
I say I'll be right here by the bar having a drink.
He's
if you
not a
need
dancer.
me, I dance I kind of have a drink and I wiggle a little bit, but I'm not out there cutting the moves. I'm you know what it is? I mean, I'm self-conscious because I don't think I got good moves. If I'm at a concert, like if I'm back to local here at the Commodore and back in the day, and there was a good band, I'd be moving around. But I'm not a big dancer.
He's not a dancer, so he lied basically.
Oh, I will tell you
He
when
lied.
I dance. I'll tell you when I dance. We'll come back from a dinner party, and there's probably been too many bottles of wine drunk.
That happens.
Like too many bottles of wine, followed by like a whiskey chaser.
Yeah, not
At
good.
the end of the night, would you like what we call it, a Scotty and Waddy?
Yes.
Would you like a Scotty and Waddy? And I'm like, sure, I'll have a Scotty and Waddy. So I have the Scotch and water. Then I get home, and the boys are home, and all of their friends are home.
Oh, boy. It's not a good scene.
And so what they do to get me revved up is they play my hits, the songs I love. We have a Sonos system through the whole house.
Yeah.
And they start playing the Rolling Stones. And they start playing Tumbling Dice. And if you get Zach with a lot of wine and a Scotty and Waddy in him, you will get me dancing around the house to the Rolling Stones.
And they are laughing their heads off.
The other one is Rolling Stones' Beast of Burden. Those are my two jams.
So anyway, he's not a dancer. Let's just put it that way. But now what I do, because we've been together so long, is if we are somewhere, I just get out there and dance. I just do my own thing. So when we were in Vietnam,
I was just going to say, my excuse for Vietnam was Andrew's out there on the dance floor. I don't know if I would call it
rocking.
I don't know if I would call it dancing. I'd call it a lot of jumping up and down.
It was fun.
Just saying.
We loved it.
And I was the videographer. So, same thing.
Yeah, he was not participating. You know, I was singing.
Are we going to get back to Andrea? We got to get back to the
belting out tunes in Vietnam that I lost my voice the next day. I had to get that back for filming.
Lot of jumping
Luckily,
around.
we didn't drive the VF8 until basically the last day of the trip, so I had time to
never seen a VF8 since.
Get my voice back. Good morning. My wife and I love your reviews, and thank you for taking us along on your new car trips. Thank you. My wife is a petite lady under 5 feet and says all the cars have gotten wider and longer. She's not wrong. What reliable luxury compact sedan would you recommend for my petite wife at about $45,000 US?
Oh, I know what you're going to say, Andrea.
What am I going to say?
I'm going to tell you right now.
Tell me.
It's a Lexus UX. Am I right?
Actually, because they said sedan.
Oh, sedan.
Yeah, they did say
sedan.
sedan, but I'm thinking like compact sedan. So that's why I'm not saying that. But you're right. Hey, the UX is a good one. She would really like that. Okay, take
sedan.
one. What would I say?
Compact sedan luxury.
It's not really a compact sedan, the one I'm going to pick.
I mean, know. You tell me.
Mini.
Oh, yeah, it's a good choice.
Right? And it's so fun.
It's premium.
It is premium,
but
$45,000 US is pretty good.
Andrea, I got a news flash for you.
Yeah?
That's not a sedan either.
I know. But it's cute, right? It's a cute little car. How about the Audi A3, A4, BMW 2 Series?
I would say go and drive an Audi A3. If you're wanting premium, it's basically the Volkswagen GTI.
Yeah. Volkswagen GTI would be a good one.
If they want a sedan and they want the premium badge.
Yeah.
Come on, Andrea. This is a woman of sophistication who wants a luxury car. So go to the Audi store, and you're going to get a nice-looking little sedan. It's built on the Golf platform, and it's got zippy power, and that'd be a good choice.
I also fell in love with the BMW 2 Series. I mean,
no longer available.
Love. But she could get the M, have a little fun.
No, but that's only the 2-door. The 4-door's gone.
Maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she wants a 2-door.
Yeah, so you've got some options there. The Lexus UX, which I thought it would be Andrea's.
It was really good.
The Mini, if you don't care about having a sedan. But I really think we've landed on Audi A3.
I think Audi A3, and try the A4 too. You might like that. Is there any further news about the new Prelude? Will there be an SI or Type R version? No news. All we know is that it's a hybrid. But I do hope that it has more combined power than the Honda Accord hybrid.
Yeah, but they did this back in the, when was it? I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago. They came out with the what was it? I can't remember what it was called.
Which one are
It
you
was
talking
the
about?
little 2-door hatch, and it was a hybrid, and it was even available in a manual. And it was just a goofy little car. It was an actual blast to drive.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the name of it. It's 3 letters, of course.
It's not CRV.
No, it was like
Not CRV, the CHR.
No,
that's a Toyota.
It was the CSX, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to show you a picture of it.
CSX.
I'm going to show you a picture of it. They did a hatchback, fun hybrid, and it was fun to drive. But nobody's imagination caught fire with that, and it was a flop.
That's too bad.
Yeah, so-
it might not be today.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, if they're going to do something similar to that, I don't know. Maybe the timing was right on or was wrong on it.
I think that Honda Prelude looks hot. Just like the Integra, I have a soft spot for both. So many memories.
That's going to drive me crazy.
I love it.
I got to look it up. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Just a second. And we're back. It's the CRZ.
Wow.
Or Z, the CRZ. Andrew didn't even remember that one.
I remember.
Yeah, unfortunately, to use my phone, I have to turn the GoPro connection off in order to do that. Actually, you got a phone.
We could have used mine. Is the Honda Pilot the only 3-row SUV that offers seating for 3 in the second row in its highest trim? Great question.
No, it is not.
It is annoying how most go to mandatory second row captain's chairs. It is a huge factor for me. Thanks for the show. I'm glad that you brought this up. We recently talked to Chevrolet about the new Traverse, saying, we think it's a mistake not offering a bench seat on the top row.
You know what they said? We'll consider it, which is code for go away, get on the plane, leave, and we'll call you for the next event.
Hey, but guess what? Who listened to us? 2 brands.
What are they, Andrea?
Ford and Mazda.
Yeah, so Ford is going with the
Or Mazda.
with the updated Escape to available bench on all.
You mean Explorer?
Did I say Escape?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not 3 rows.
No.
Explorer on all trims.
Yes. And they said that to us at the auto show. They're like, guess what, guys? Guess what we did? And we were like, right on. Another one that does that, the Volkswagen Atlas, bench seat on all trims. You mentioned the Honda Pilot. And in Canada, Mazda for the CX-90 for the GT performance
Model,
trim.
The top trim.
They've added a bench seat. You can get a bench seat, not on the top Signature, but at least on that one, because that was a pet peeve of ours, like 6 passenger on those 2 in Canada on the 2
So they're
top
out there.
trims.
So I would say the biggest are going to be the Atlas. And it's got a huge back seat. I mean, it's just enormous. If you're talking about volume and you want a bench seat on the top trim, you can get the Atlas with the R line looking sporty and all that with a bench seat. That's pretty slick.
You know what's interesting is we asked Toyota about this when we were at the Grand Highlander event, and they said, oh, well, no, we can't do it because of towing capacity and because of fuel economy, because once you go to the top trim, you add more stuff, and it's all about weight. But then we asked the chief engineer for the Traverse about this, and he said, no, for us, you know, we could add it if we wanted to.
Yeah, so but get on the plane and leave. Leave us alone.
Well,
enough with your questions, Andrea.
There's 2
You
things.
should see Andrea talking about having a drink at night. Andrea's there with her drink, up to the chief engineer, telling you, blah, 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 blah. The guy, by the end, he's probably like, oh my God.
I just grill them. I grill them. And, you know, when we're in the presentations, it's
Andrea's
basically Zach and I answering questions.
Asking all the questions.
But then I'm asking more, and then Zach's like, hey, Andrea, like maybe let them finish the presentation.
I'll tell you why, because it goes like this. Andrew goes like this. I have a quick question. And I said, what I said was, there is no quick question, Andrea.
I want to know, and I'm going to continue to grill them. Hello.
Oh, I'm up. Hey, listen. Before you showed up on the scene going to these events, I was Mr. Asked All the Questions. And you know what? People always used to bug us at the end of the press conference, and they'd say, oh, you ask all these questions. You were always the one asking all the questions. And I'll say, you know what? I'm asking the questions you should have asked, and I'll tell you why. Because as soon as I ask the question and you get the answer, they all go like this. Oh. And they write it down.
Well, at the presentation, I have all these questions, and then I hear from you guys on Instagram, and then I have more questions. So when I see them at dinner, I'm like,
even more.
Just one more quick question.
We have learned a little trade secret, though.
What's that?
Well, it doesn't matter because the competitive outlets, they're not going to get the intel.
No.
Is that we don't ask in the press conference.
We don't.
Because then if we ask the question, then they give the answer to everybody.
Yeah.
So we asked with the cocktail at night, Andrea's like, so chief engineer, tell me. I had a 40-minute conversation with the
chassis guy.
head of chassis development for Chevrolet for the Traverse. He was a smart guy.
Yeah.
And you get access to these people. That's what I love about going on these programs. You get the chief engineer, you get the chassis designer, you get the guy who's the head of engine development, product planning, marketing department. You get all these people. So we do it on the down low on the side.
And guess what? Sometimes I even stump them, and then they're like, "Oh, we're going to have to look into that."
I stumped chief engineer on what the speed of the wireless charger was.
Yeah.
That was, but he can't know everything.
He can't know everything. They're so good at what they do. Hello, sweet couple. Love to watch you guys. My question is, any updates about the RAV4 2025?
I think it's going to be in 2026.
It's going to be a 2026. I think you're going to have to wait for that one.
Yeah, so what we heard was, I can't tell you who we heard it from.
Oh, yeah.
But somebody intimately familiar with the car said it's not going to be this year, it's going to be next year, which leads us to believe it'll be
2026.
26. It might be marketed as a 25, but it's going to be towards the end of the year.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be marketed as a 2026 and will come out kind of like fall of 2025 sort of thing.
We're going long here on all that dinner and dance talk.
Dance talk, yeah. I'll just dance on my own.
Just play the rolling. Just all you need is several bottles of red wine and some tumbling dice from the Rolling Stones.
Billy Joel, Elton John.
You can get Zork. No, I don't care about those.
Love them.
No, you can get me going with always the Rolling Stones.
By the way, when I worked in radio, I had dinner with Billy Joel. It was like a group thing. And guess what? Nicest guy. Nicest guy. Anyway, that's it for us.
We're going to go down all that rabbit hole of all the people we've met.
Follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning, I put a post out with Zach and I holding coffee. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Did I tell you I interviewed Aerosmith? Bon Jovi?
Now he just wants to up me, doesn't he?
Okay, that's it. We're all done. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
See you later.